determine the volume of a cone pictured here, we use the formula V equals 1/3 pi r squared h, where r is the length of the radius of the base and h is the height. So this would be the radius and this would be the height. Notice how I also gave the formula for the volume of a cylinder. The reason I did this is, if the radius of the cone and the cylinder are the same, and the heights are also the same, notice how the volume of the cone would be 1/3 the volume of the cylinder, which means if we turn this cone over and filled it up with water exactly 3 times, it would exactly fill a cylinder, again with the same radius and height. But for this example, we want to determine the volume of a cone with a radius of 8 centimeters and a height of 18 centimeters. So we'd have the volume is equal to 1/3 times pi times the length of the radius squared, which would be 8 centimeters squared. Notice how I am leaving the units in the formula, and I'll show you why in a minute. And the height would be 18 centimeters. So to evaluate this, we'll first simplify the exponents. So we'll have 1/3 times pi times, this would be 64 centimeters squared times 18 centimeters. And before we multiply though, we do want to try to simplify. So if we put this 18 centimeters over 1, notice how 3 and 18 share a common factor of 3. There's 1 3 in 3 and 6 3's in 18. So now we'll go ahead and multiply. Let's take a look at the units first. Notice how we have centimeters squared times centimeters, which would be centimeters cubed, which reminds us that the volume is measured in cubic centimeters. And now we have pi times 64 times 6. Now to find the exact volume, we'll leave pi in our product, so let's go ahead and put the pi here. And now we'll find the product of 64 and 6. So 64 times 6, that would be 24, carry the 2. 6 times 6 plus 2, that'd be 38. So the exact volume would be 384 pi cubic centimeters. Now let's go ahead and go to the calculator and get a decimal approximation for this, as well as verify that we did evaluate this correctly. So we'll first go ahead and type in 384 pi. The pi key on this calculator is right above the exponent key. So we'll press second and then the exponent key to access the pi. Press enter. So we'll say the volume is approximately 1206.4 cubic centimeters. But now to verify that we did simplify this correctly, let's go back to the calculator and enter in 1/3 pi times 8 squared times 18. And since we did get the same decimal approximation, this verifies that we did find the volume correctly. So what this tells us is that approximately 1206.4 little cubic centimeters would fit inside this cone. Okay, I hope you found this helpful.